Hey, good morning. It's John. Woo! 21 degrees. Check this out, though. Oh, my Lord. A little frost. Look at that in the background. A little fog. The big old sun coming up on the other side over here. And that's fire. Fire, frost, and fog. And lots of squawking geese. My God. Could you imagine being married to that? Oh, wait, I was. Kidding. So, cold, but nice. Oh my God. This guy's got ice in his yard. Do you believe that? It's friggin' Halloween. There's ice. Trick or treat. Hey kids, come on over here. Get yourself a lawsuit. Forget the candy. Oh my God. So, yesterday, I was talking about prayer, as I've come to know it. True prayer, prayer of the heart versus prayer of the head. And the next, I thought, reasonable question would be, okay, so prayer is asking, and so what's listening? And the short answer to that is meditation, I think. I would say meditation. The Bible says that many are called, but few are chosen. A Course in Miracles says, all are called, few choose to listen. Therefore, when you look in the Bible where it refers to the quote-unquote chosen ones, it's really referring to not a special group of people, but those who have chosen to listen to the voice of reason, as opposed to the riot of havoc voice that most of us have constantly pecking at us. In fact, all of us, I can say most. Not many choose to listen to the other voice, to the voice of reason. And it does take a little bit of practice. From my own experience, I don't know anybody that it hasn't taken some practice, but the benefits far outweigh whatever troubles you may find or shakiness you may have in the beginning. You know, a practice of learning how to quiet your mind. Try it, that's all I could say. So the question, to whom does God speak? The answer to that is a question. Who's listening? And if you're listening, will you take action on it? I've found that these are very simple methodologies, really practical tools that I can use, anybody can use in their daily life, and really create a whole new way of experiencing the world. Literally create your own world relative to the one that is going on outside of you. And I remember a story that my mom used to tell us when we were kids, and when she first told it to us, I thought, oh, she's nuts. I said, yeah, okay. I don't know what that's all about, but she's crazy. But it turned out to be a true story. And she was, I guess my sister Mary was about 3 or 4 months old. And my mother was alone in the house when we were living in Brooklyn. We had a little yard. If anybody grew up in Brooklyn, you know you got a 6x10 lawn, which was like a national park, and a cement yard you could play in. Where we grew up, everything was so cemented and asphalted that we actually had a place near the church called the grass yard. Go play in the grass yard, because that's where the grass was. But then my dad bought a house and we moved to another area. Anyway, so my mom was at home with my sister, who was an infant. And just look at this for a second. Oh my God, is this unbelievable? Holy mackerel. And the sun coming up in the background. My Lord. That's just amazing, isn't it? God. So, Mary was resting quietly in a stroller, and my mom was in the kitchen. It's an unseasonably mild spring day, really warm. So my mom had the baby resting in the stroller, and just my mom at home. She said she heard a voice say, "Put up the hood on the stroller." And she, began to rationalize to herself, why would I put up the hood on the stroller? The sun's not in her eyes, it's not windy, nothing, no bugs and that kind of. Good morning. Dude, you are the bravest man I know. Shorts. Not the friendliest, Jesus. Anyway, she started to rationalize. Well, why would I put up the hood? I don't understand why I would have to. Again, this voice, a little more persistent. Put up the hood. She's trying to reason why she would. Anyway, third time she got the point, went out, and she snapped the hood up on the stroller and walked back to the kitchen door, locked the door, and as soon as she locked the door, a birdhouse that my brothers and I had nailed into the tree a couple of years earlier, this old, cobbled together birdhouse, fell from where it was nailed to. It bounced off the hood and fell onto the floor. Big, heavy birdhouse. My mother, just tears streaming down her face, ran out and just picked up my sister and cradled her and rocked back and forth, crying, tears. I remember I came home that day and she was still freaked. Any person, especially a mother, right? You can imagine, right? And I didn't pay much attention to that story. It wasn't until years later when I began to ask for guidance in my own life and began to have similar experiences, perhaps not as dramatic, but similar, where, I was feeling something else. Something else was emerging within me, telling me, guiding me, pointing. I don't know who said this, but it's brilliant. They said, Jesus pointed to the truth, and we made a religion out of his finger. I thought that was a brilliant insight. Whatever was pointing my mother to do what this was, it had to be some greater thing reflective of truth. Who knows? I mean, she's a very devout person. Maybe it was Jesus for her, pointing what to do. So years later, for me, I went back and I asked my mom. I said, "Ma, the day with the baby carriage and the birdhouse where it almost killed Mary," I said, "what was the voice? Was it male or was it female?" And I can still see the look on my astonished look on my mother's face. She said, "Oh my God, it was neither. It was just a voice." And I said, "Well, why do you think the voice told you to put up the hood? Why didn't the voice tell you to move the stroller, take Mary out of the stroller, or maybe never even put Mary in the stroller to begin with?" And again, my mother, I could see her scanning, going, "I don't know. I was just so grateful that she was alive, I didn't ask." And I thought, right. Well, I'm asking. What was that voice? And it made me really begin to ponder, like, why did that voice do that? And I thought to myself, and I still think this is accurate, the voice was demonstrating to my mother in one amazing experience that the voice is only part of the communication channeling experience, very small part, I think, that communication is not limited to the small channels, small range of channels that the world recognizes. There's a much greater, broader way of divinity interacting, communicating with us. And it comes sometimes through a voice, many times through an intuition, a sensation, a feeling, sometimes a combination thereof. But I think ultimately the grandest is the experience. What an experience that was for my mom. So it was communicating in one amazing experience, that not only is there something greater than what we understand, what I understand, listening. This divine intelligence really has our best interest at heart. And no matter what we find ourselves in the midst of, there's always something available for us to listen to if we're willing to listen and take action on it. And I know that in my own life, many times I've received information I've ignored, dismissed, or actively outright attacked. Gone, not only is that not possible, I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. And it turns out I should have done X, Y, and Z. So it takes a little while to trust it. Perfect example. I'm wearing this new sweater I got, and this is going to sound like a trite example, but this is how it starts. I got this sweater. It was 2 sizes too big. It was the only one of its kind at BJ's. I really liked the sweater. It was the only one close to my size, but it was 2 sizes too big. But something was telling me, just buy the sweater. I thought, right, and I'm rationalizing, just buy the sweater because I'll take the receipt and this way I can bring it back. I washed the sweater last night. I get up, shrunk it, now fits perfectly. So I learned with these smaller experiences to trust that little intuition. And as my faith and trust built in the experiences, I was able to apply it to much, seemingly greater, harder decisions that were confronting me. So that when it comes time to make a big life, quote unquote, big life decision, it doesn't seem as hard. In fact, it'll make it quite easy, quite simple. You go, yeah, this is what we're doing. Let's just move. Someone told me once, when the whys get big enough, the hows take care of themselves. I thought that was a really great insight, because that's been true for me. When you know why you're doing something, how you're going to do it becomes automatic. And whatever obstacles are in the way actually become the way. I'm constantly, I know everybody, constantly dealing with, it seems as if life keeps putting these hurdles in front of you, in front of us. I read once, I think it was in Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh, good book. It said, life is not one thing after another. It's the same thing over and over. That is, whatever problem is in front of you, the answer to it is always the same. Stay in the state of prayer, meditation, openness. Allow yourself to be guided. You will find that there's an assistance available beyond the small, sorry reaches of the world. It does have our greater good in mind. And I think you'll see from your own experience amazing results in your life. So just I'd like to leave you with this. Man, is this amazing? Oh my God. Now if I could just get the feeling back in my feet, this this would be an amazing day. All right, everybody, have a good one.